Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, I wanted to take a few moments to look at the forecast for a transit that we have coming up that's going to be quite beautiful, I think. And I kind of wanted to look to see how it will affect each life path number. So we're going to look at the forecast for each life path number. For June 9th, we have Jupiter entering into Cancer. So it's changing house and moving into the sign of Cancer from the sign of Gemini. And so we're going to notice that energetic shift. Jupiter will then be in Cancer from June 9th, 2025 through June 2026. So it's going to be in there for about a year. Jupiter enjoys being in Cancer, so I do think that it's going to bring some good vibes. And I think those good vibes will again affect all of us. And so definitely looking forward to this transit. Jupiter expands everything that it touches. It's a very benefic planet, and the energy that it brings is usually gift-giving, benefic, that sort of thing. A lot of times we can sort of reap the benefits of Jupiter once it leaves the house that it's sitting in. And so once it enters into Cancer, we could see benefits or reap the rewards from the time that Jupiter has spent in Gemini. And once Jupiter eventually leaves Cancer, we will likely be able to reap the full benefits of its time in Cancer, if that makes sense. And so there's definitely, I can see in the numerology, it's going to be highlighting the vibration of the 24/6 for this transit. And so there's definitely a strong emphasis, which also correlates beautifully with the Cancer energy. The vibration of love, home, supportive relationships, foundations will all kind of be coming into the forefront, having us look at these energies. We can also see, again, benefits or growth and expansion within these areas over the course of the next year collectively. And again, I'm going to break down each life path so you can see how it might affect you individually. But just as an high-level overview, the themes are beautiful. The support is beautiful for this next year. Very supportive, again, around those themes of love, home, supportive relationships, close relationships, where we feel sort of safe and secure within our connections. And that can be meeting new people that help us to feel safe and secure within those connections and within ourselves as well. So a lot of beautiful opportunities for expansion and growth in those areas, as well as foundations, right? Because we've got the vibration of the 4 with the 24/6. So there's a very foundational piece to this. And it's interesting too, because where the 4 falls within the equation, 24/6, it's sort of smack dab in the middle of the vibration of the 2 and the vibration of the 6. 2 is relationships, balance, harmony, peace, coming together. And then the vibration of the 6 brings that focus back in directly to, again, love, home, supportive relationships where we feel safe, where we feel secure, where we can be vulnerable, and strong foundations. And it might take some work to get there. And a lot of times, again, Jupiter expands what it touches. So if there's something that needs work, then our focus will be in that direction while Jupiter is in Cancer for this transit. So if there's, some adjustments we need to make in our relationships, maybe we keep showing up to a connection that doesn't feel safe, that doesn't feel supportive. And Jupiter will have us looking at, that will likely intensify, right? So if we don't feel safe in that connection, it might get worse before it can get better, before we realize we have to make some adjustments. Same thing with like our foundations. Wherever it is that there's some cracks in those foundations, Jupiter will expand that, right? So it might get worse before it gets better, but it'll show us where we need to make those adjustments, where we need to make some modifications in order to get that solid foundation. But then we also have that 6 vibration, which again has that focus on home, family, love, etc. in those foundations, with the 4 in the middle. And the 4 is not only foundational, but it's the glue that brings everything together. So again, strong emphasis on where it is that we need to strengthen that glue when it comes to our Relationships, our greater balance, our home, our family. Again, relationships where we feel safe, where there's an equal exchange of energy, where we feel seen and appreciated, etc., etc. So strong emphasis here. But again, this could be a period where there's changes to the home, relationships, etc., that feel really, really good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this transit. I think it's going to be really, really beautiful and very fulfilling in a lot of ways. For a lot of people, this could bring in new connections that are very deep and supportive in a lot of ways. Also, the relationship with ourselves and how we show up to love for ourselves, etc., etc. So again, with this transit, with a strong emphasis on the 24/6, definitely a strong emphasis on love, unity, harmony, balance, foundations. Okay, so that's kind of just, again, high overview. This, again, is a general overview. If you would like your own personal numerology reading, please book some time with me. You can find my information in the description box below. And as always, I would love to work with you. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast for each life path number for this transit. Life path number 1, you are going to be working with the vibration of the 25/7 for this transit. And this is a beautiful energy, especially if for the last year you've been facing some kind of trial or tribulation, or if you've had some health issues. You could see some respite here once Jupiter gets into Cancer. You could see success after that difficulty. So again, finding solutions to whatever was ailing you, whatever obstacles you were facing, you could see, see some respite, see things kind of come together in a much better way. And again, this is energy that you've been working towards, you've been putting in the effort for. This isn't an energy where it's just being, the rewards or the success is just being handed over to you. This is something that you've been dedicated towards, really putting in the hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears, really coming to fruition with this transit under this vibration. I would say definitely keep in check your sort of mental activity, meaning in your mental energy, meaning for this transit, just be careful about the stories that you create in your head. Be careful about the rabbit holes you go down I would say be careful about making assumptions. When it comes to especially home life, relationships, foundational issues, etc., have the conversation. Don't go with assumptions, because those assumptions will likely be wrong. And they will likely add to whatever the discord was or whatever the challenge has been. It will just sort of continue to facilitate that. So definitely continue to address the issues, have the conversations, show up in love and honesty and truth, and hold space for the other person to do the same. And you will get a lot out of this transit. You can see a lot of solutions coming in. You can see a lot of, again, healing what needs healing and mending what needs mending. Be careful about hasty actions, because that can lead to conflicts. Be careful about making really quick, sudden decisions without a lot of forethought or without sort of doing your due diligence, because again, that will kind of lead to making assumptions or taking harsh kind of hasty action, and that can lead to some annoyances and some discord. So yeah, beautiful energy here. I would say also when it comes to signing documents, take your time, make sure you read the fine print, all of that. It can be easy to get caught up in this energy. And so you just want to make sure that you keep your head on your shoulders and you continue to do your due diligence. But overall, beautiful energy here. I think you can see a lot of healing, a lot of things coming to fruition, a lot of success after difficulty, and that can feel really rewarding. You're still going to have to put in the work and make sure that you, again, are showing up to your relationships and your connections, willing to put in the effort, willing to have those equal exchange of energies. But overall, yeah, very beautiful vibration to be a beautiful cycle to move through. Hope it's a great one. Take care, ones. Bye for now. Life path number 2, you're going to be working with the vibration of the 26/8. So this is a karmic cycle for you. So you could see karmic cycles closing out at this time and reaping the rewards from the work that you've been putting in and the lessons that you learned from those karmic cycles. Or this could be a period where you start a new karmic cycle. And that's probably going to be the case for many of you twos, this will likely be a new beginning in some kind of karmic lesson that begins. And remember, karma doesn't have to be challenging and like awful and all those things. It can be very, very rewarding. You could meet someone now that you feel a very strong spiritual connection with, that you feel as if it's a soul connection. It could lead to a very long relationship, very solid relationship, one of a lot of love and support and all of those things, especially because you're meeting this person under the vibration of the cycle of the 24/6. So remember that 4 energy is like glue. It's holding things together. So who you meet at this time could definitely be in it for the long haul. It could be a very solid relationship coming in, but it's also karmic in some way. And again, karma just means, our kind of experiencing the consequences of our actions. So if our actions have been solid and good and all of those things, then the consequences of that will be solid and good. So it could be a beautiful period for you over the course of the next year. You could meet a marriage prospect at this time, someone who you will likely have an important impact on each other's lives in some way. Now, whether or not you decide to get married is beyond, it's irrelevant really, but it's that kind of sort of strong commitment type of energy. So that is very possible. You could take a relationship to the next level under this cycle. And again, whatever decisions and choices you make will likely hold for quite some time. So you might decide to buy or sell a home or something like that with your partner. That's very possible, and that could be very beneficial in a lot of ways. It's a beautiful cycle to develop your powers of expression. So, take some kind of a course, further your education, learn another language, hone in on your expertise, and kind of, go back to school, take a course, something like that will help you in the long run. Beautiful cycle for that. I would also say use good judgment. Don't get too caught up in the energy where you kind of lose your head. Anytime that you have to sign any kind of contracts or anything like that, or make any kind of investments, just make sure that you are reading the fine print and that you're aware of the finer details before signing your name to the dotted line. I think that's going to be really important. It's really easy to get caught up in the bigger energy of Jupiter. And so just make sure you keep your head on your shoulders. Partnerships and contracts, are really in the forefront for you all with this vibration. So just make sure you do your due diligence, and it's likely that whatever you commit to under this cycle will bring a lot of positive, beautiful connections, lifetime of happiness and fulfillment type of energy. It's a really beautiful cycle actually to move through, even though it is karmic to some degree. So I would say over the course of the next year, expect beautiful messages to come through, good news, rewards in some way, and you might just meet the love of your life. So I hope it's a great one. Take care. Bye for now. Life path number 3, you all are going to be working with the vibration of the 27/9 for this transit. This is a beautiful cycle for you all. This is a time where it's almost like, it reminds me of kind of like spring, where things are, waking up, they're growing, they're blossoming, they're bearing fruit. So it's a very like promising cycle where you could see relationships bloom. You could see a greater, deeper understanding of your partner or the people in your life. You could see, again, like things come to fruition that you've been working towards and sort of moving towards, investing your energy in. You could see a lot of things start to take shape at this time that feel really, really good. Marriage and close partnerships are very much highlighted with this energy. And so obviously we talked about that at the intro. This cycle for the collective is 24/6, very strong love vibration. For you all with the 27/9, you have the 7 and the 9, which indicate deeper soul connections. Doesn't have to be romantic, although it very likely could be. It's just that, again, very supportive connections, relationships where you can be yourself, where you can kind of let your creativity shine, your essence shine, and where you feel supported in that. Really beautiful energy for that. This could be someone new that you're meeting, or it could be, again, taking a current relationship to the next level where it feels very solid, supported, all the things, a really strong foundational type of energy. If you've been planning on opening a new business, applying for some kind of promotion, switching jobs, something like that, you could find that any kind of creative enterprise, especially, now is the time to do that. This would be a great cycle to see big leaps and bounds within your creative expression in some way, especially as it pertains to your career or how you invest your time and energy and how you contribute in the world. It's kind of like this energy, this vibration brings everything together, brings all the ingredients together for that successful promotion. So especially if it's something where you have to sort of promote yourself or market yourself in some way, this is such a beautiful cycle to really be successful in that promotion. This is a time where you'll likely want to enlist the aid of others. So collaborations, connecting with others, working with others, getting a mentor, something along those lines could prove to be very, very beneficial for you in the long run. And this could very well be the beginning of your fortune to some degree with this cycle. And so again, very, very benefic energy that you all are moving through. Whatever you initiate this year, well, I would say, yeah, from this year, from June 9th to probably around June 9th of 2026, has the potential to bring wealth, prosperity, reaching goals that you thought were impossible to reach. Very, very supportive and benefic in that sense. So dream big and put in the effort to achieve those dreams. And I think you're going to have Jupiter on your side, and I think you'll be happy with the outcome. So I hope it's a great one. Take care. Bye for now. Life path number 4. So you all are going to be working with the vibration of the 28-1, which is a really beautiful energy. It's kind of like ending something coming to completion, and kind of looking to the future to decide what's next. So where do you want to set your sights on? What are your goals? Coming up with a plan to decide how to achieve those goals. And then you have the support of Jupiter that's helping you to make that happen. This is definitely a time where I would say good judgment is going to be needed. Don't be too impulsive. Don't be too rash. And don't be too rigid in your thinking and your behaviors. This is definitely a year where I think you're going to be pushed outside of your comfort zone a little bit. You'll be asked to think outside of the box a little bit. This is a cycle with this 28-1 that we're going to be working with. This is a time for contradictions, competition, surprise, unusual events. And that can be uncomfortable for 4s to kind of maneuver through. But it's really helping you to gain a broader perspective and to see a better way of approaching something, or being able to envision reaching your biggest goals, right? Where in the past, maybe you would have a big desire or a big goal and then talk yourself out of it because you don't feel like you're worthy or you're not capable or whatever. And Jupiter, this transit with Jupiter, especially working with this 28-1 energy, is really helping you to see the way in order to like how you can make it happen. And it will likely be working with other people. It's not going to be done individually, although the vision may be yours and the goal might be yours, but there will likely be many opportunities to work with others. This is a time where, again, unusual, unexpected events could occur. And, I would say this is a time where you want to take risks. You want to share your ideas. Don't be impulsive. Make sure you have a plan. I'm not too worried about that, though. Just make sure you have a strategy for how you're going to achieve whatever this is. But this is pushing you to embrace your ideas, your vision, your goals, and not talk yourself out of it too much. You might find some opposition here, unfortunately. People might try to be competitive. They might want what you have. They might try to take credit for the work that you've done, that sort of thing. So there could be some difficulties in that area, and you'll just have to find the higher road in order to sort of bypass that. And also remember, you get to choose how you engage, so choose appropriately. Let's see. Land, like if you're buying land, selling land, or property, that could really go well. If expect unexpectedly really well, you could see really good profits from that, or you could see things come in that, again, like just unexpected, like maybe the land, you inherit land, or someone wants to kind of bequeath it to you in some way, or you just get a really good deal on it. Again, don't be overly impulsive. Take your time. Make sure you do your due diligence. But it's that kind of energy where just expect the unexpected, and then take your time and be curious as you kind of explore the unexpected. And I would say be prepared for events that come up suddenly that will sort of, could be easy to be impulsive and say yes right out of the gate, but I would say take your time. Make sure you continue along the path of the 4. Take your time, have patience, have a strategy, but don't be afraid of saying yes, and don't be afraid of stepping outside of that comfort zone. And I think the rewards will be really good, really, really good here. This is a very supportive energy. But ultimately with the 28-1, it's like the outcome rests solely in your hands. You have the reins, so direct your energy in the direction that you want to see the most success, and you'll likely see that. So I hope it's a great one. Take care. Bye for now. Life path number 5, you are going to be working with a beautiful vibration of the 29-11-2. So this is the master level energy, which can bring in master level opportunities, so big opportunities, but also some challenges that you're going to have to kind of overcome, and be really discerning in how you choose to move through those challenges, because that's where the wisdom is going to lie, and the success or the achievement is going to lie on the opposite or the other side of those challenges. So you're going to have to get focused and move through them in a way that, you don't give up too easily. Also, you could have some trouble making decisions under this vibration. So take your time, feel into it, weigh your options. And then when you do make that decision, because decisions will definitely be called for under this vibration, when you do make those decisions, stick to them, stay focused, follow through to completion, and you'll get the most out of this cycle. This is a time where I would say, be alert, keep your eyes open, and watch for opportunities that come your way, because there will likely be a lot, and they will likely be, well, I don't want to say different than what you would have had expected, but this is definitely a time to, embrace your 5 energy of adaptability and be adaptable to what comes in. Be curious, explore the opportunity. Don't be too quick to dismiss it. And use good judgment and insight in evaluating those offers that are presented to you, to not overlook or ignore any of the possibilities. Try to see the advantages or the potential of these opportunities, and go for them. I would say go for them. This is definitely a time for risk taking in a calculated way. But don't be too quick to say no to something, because you might miss out on a really beautiful, supportive, successful opportunity this year if you're too quick to say no. Also, this is a very beautiful cycle for partnerships coming in at this time. It could be romantic, but it feels more like business oriented, or people who come in to support you, to help you to get your business situated and kind of moving in the direction that you want to do, or a creative project or something like that, helping you to get it off the ground. So definitely be open to new ideas and be willing to accept the help that, people who show up are willing to offer and give. Move through any uncertainties and fears through this cycle. And again, you'll be able to reap the benefits that it brings your way. I hope it's a great one. Take care, 5s. Bye for now. 6s, I absolutely love the energy you all are working with for this transit. You're going to be working with the vibration of the 33, so 303. This is such a beautiful energy. This is about time for celebration. So things coming to fruition that are worth celebrating and taking the time to celebrate. This is work being completed, whether it's projects, whether it's something you've been investing in and kind of dedicating your time and energy towards. You'll see some kind of, again, work being completed, things coming to fruition, and that not only just coming to fruition, but in a way where it's worth celebrating. So this is a big energy, like maybe you're graduating, maybe you are, maybe you're opening your business after, getting everything situated and the whole process that goes into that, opening day. So much here. Maybe you're getting married, maybe you're having a baby, maybe you're adopting. I mean, the list goes on and on. But whatever it is, it's time to come together with others, celebrate, and see the sort of the fruits of your labor. So absolutely love this. Projects that you've been working on reach their fullest expression during this period. If if that work has been well done, then the rewards will come in abundance. I mean, it's that kind of beautiful energy. It's a time for celebration, a time for, recognition and recognizing how far you've come in some area of your life, and then celebrating those achievements. And it can kind of be staggered. So you could see this again, because it's a progressive cycle over the course of a year. So you could see these like accomplishments come in over the course of the year. And then along with that comes the opportunity or the means to be able to celebrate those successes. This is such a beautiful time for achieving some of your greatest hopes and dreams, truly, or initiating as well. You might see the puzzle pieces come together for you to take that leap of faith in certain areas where maybe you've been afraid to do it before, or you just haven't had the resources come into play that will help you to do that. But you could definitely see that come in over the course of the next year with Jupiter in Cancer. These energies for you, for this 33, are very much tied to and connected to the home and domestic relationships. So, again, marriage can bring fulfillment. Having a baby, even adopting a new pet, something like that, can bring a lot of joy and happiness and fulfillment into your life in a lot of ways. So beautiful energy here is kind of interesting because you are a life path 6. The vibration of this collective energy is 24/6. And then the vibration of the 33 also brings, again, strong emphasis on love, romance, home, support, etc., etc. So this energy is right up your alley. You're sort of in the spotlight here with this energy. So you kind of have the most to reap from what Jupiter is giving you at this time. So beautiful. Take the time, celebrate your successes, and enjoy the next year. I think you'll be really pleased with what Jupiter gives you. Take care. Bye for now. Life path number 7, you all are going to be working with the vibration of the 31/4 for this cycle. So there's definitely something here, like the emphasis on foundations and organization, having a plan, being dedicated, overcoming procrastination or disorganization can be really highlighted at this time. There's a very strong focus on your foundations. And so where there's some cracks in those foundations, you will likely be that will be in the spotlight for you to really hone in on and get your ducks in a row, so to speak. This could be a sensitive emotional period as well, where where emotions come up and you are meant to work with those emotions and sort of regulate your emotions in a way where they're sort of, you're channeling that charged energy into something constructive as opposed to destructive. So that could come in, that could be highlighted really strongly over the course of the next year. Also things to do with your physical body, or the physical house or home that you live in. Anything that comes up at this time, make sure you address it, you get it taken care of, you don't let it go, so to speak, and you will reap the benefits of that. So in other words, if you have a leaky roof, this would be the time to get the roof fixed. And you might find that you find a contractor who's discounted and you're able to do it at a price that's kind of a steal. You know what I mean? It's that kind of benefic type of energy. But this is kind of that energy of get your house in order. And by house, again, it can be your holistic health, your home that you live in. For some of you might be moving homes, changing locations, something along those lines. You might be remodeling or doing something different with the home. Beautiful time to do that because of this 24/6 energy that Jupiter is bringing collectively. There is a beautification process, right? And so for you all, it's kind of directed at, again, the physical body that holds the soul, or your home environment, something along those lines. I would say this is also a time where you might work through some past traumas. You might work through some difficult emotional layers that maybe you've been suppressing or have been avoiding, something along those lines could come in really strongly for you at this time to be worked through. And again, finding ways to better transmute those highly charged energies that might have been getting the best of you in the past. So beautiful there as well. You could see that any kind of legal matters come to completion at this time. There's settlements. You might see the benefits of those settlements, especially because you have Jupiter behind you. So they could really go in your favor, and you could really see some highly favorable outcomes to those dealings come in at this time. Could see your finances improve now, especially if you join with others in some way in an honest mutual effort to bring about tangible results. So collaborations, working together in some way, very, very supported at this time. Again, I would just say be really careful about procrastination or disorganization. This is a time to clear out the clutter, get organized, have a strategy, get focused, commit, and persevere, see it through to completion, and you'll be really happy, I think, with the results. Hope it's a great one. Take care, sevens. Bye for now. Life path number 8, you all are working with magnificent energy for this cycle. You're going to be working with the vibration of the 32-5. And I really like this for 8s because it brings in a very favorable period where you can receive good news, recognition, accolades. You can reach some of your higher goals that you've really been working for or striving towards. And the recognition and honor that sort of goes along with them now can be, can make you feel like, can kind of help to build that confidence, can make you feel like you've reached a big milestone in your life. Now, this is a progressive energy, it's going to be sort of progressing over the course of a year. So you might not see things immediately June 9th of this year. It might be that, this all comes to fruition as Jupiter is leaving Cancer in 2026. June of 2026 is very possible. Or you could see kind of a progression of, those achievements stacking up as you move throughout the year. This is a very supportive energy in getting you that recognition that you deserve, achieving the goals that you've been striving for, reaching your goals and your visions. And again, kind of putting the wind in your sail and helping define that confidence and overcome any of that self-doubt that you might have been grappling with. This energy can kind of, it's kind of like that pat on the back from the universe, like, yes, you're on the right path. And yes, what you're doing is important. And the contributions that you're making, you're aligned with exactly where you need to be. And so this year can kind of bring in those sometimes subtle reminders, but sometimes very big reminders. And so it can be really enjoyable, right? And pleasurable to sort of reap what you've sown, so to speak. It's also an energy where you could see difficult situations be overcome at this time. Disputes are settled and you kind of come out on top. Settlements tend to be made in your favor. Now, even if they're not, even if that doesn't kind of come to fruition for you, it does seem like things that you've been struggling with come to some kind of completion or closure. So if it is some kind of settlement, you might find that there's a settlement. And even if it doesn't go in your favor the way that you had hoped, there's still that sense of relief for the closure and for you finally to be done with whatever this was. And so that's very, very possible at this time. You could find that friends are very helpful and very supportive during this time. Like you basically see where your support system is, where your greatest cheerleaders are, where you can, the people that you can count on, that sort of thing, especially when it comes to 8 energy. That can be really critical because those are the people you want on your side as you continue to build whatever it is that you're building. You don't want people on your side who are competitive or who want to see you fail in some way. Like you want the people who, get joy out of seeing you succeed. So, and so in saying that, you could also see it come to light. The people who don't have your best interest at heart could come again to light through their actions. And that's a really big indicator to know when to cut ties and when to move in a different direction. So Jupiter can help you to see that, which can be really important, of course, for whatever it is that you're building. Also, you could find that people are coming to you for your expertise, for your advice. If you have some kind of business where that's what you offer, you could see that do really, really well over the course of this year, especially in the lives that you touch and that the people that you reach throughout the course of the year with your work or your contribution. And again, if you don't work, then it's more focused on, again, your creative expression, your contribution, volunteer work, philanthropy, etc. The only thing I would say in closing this out is be careful about pride. Don't let pride step in the way of your accomplishments and kind of make you overbearing or feel like you're too entitled for the success. Remember, however successful you get, however high that pedestal is, there's a lot of people that helped you to get there. So don't forget them along the way. Hope it's a great one. I mean, this is a beautiful energy to work with. I hope it's a great one. Take care. Bye for now. Life path number 9, you are going to be working with a very beautiful energy, very powerful energy of the master number 33/6 for this transit. So what's interesting is when we work in a cycle with a master number, there are usually tremendous opportunities that can come through that cycle, but there's also often tremendous obstacles or challenges that have to be overcome in that process. So you will likely see both, but in order to get to those greater opportunities, you have to move through the challenges, right? And so in that process, you will unlock the wisdom that those challenges have to offer you that will then make those opportunities even greater and more richer. So beautiful energy there. You've basically entered into a cycle where, this is pushing you to remember your capabilities, have faith in yourself, to reignite that recognition of your inner abilities, like what you are capable of. You're giving the opportunity to now use your energies, your resources, your expertise to help others in some way to help alleviate the challenges that they may be facing. The 33/6 is the embodiment of unconditional love. And so, you might find that over the course of the next year, you're in a position to help to uplift, empower, inspire others in some way that can help to give them the tools to be successful in their own right. So you're not doing it for them, but you're helping them to see their strengths, helping to support them until they can get on their feet type of thing, but giving them the tools so that they can do it for themselves. So you might find yourself in a position where you are that expert, you are that mentor, you are that advisor that can help people in some way. I would say also, use discernment in sort of what you say yes to over the course of the next year, because remember, Jupiter expands. So you could see a lot of people coming for assistance from you. You could see a lot of people kind of wanting to lean on you or, you to help and support them type thing. And you're one person. So, be careful about sort of overextending yourself. Be mindful of who you say yes to and who you feel like you need to say no to. You will likely have to flex that muscle this year in saying no, that, whether you don't have the capability physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever, saying no gives them the opportunity to go find that support elsewhere. So just be very discerning about how you invest your energy over the course of the next year, because you will likely be someone who people are coming to. Not to say that you can't get the support. If you need support, ask for it this year and you will see it come through. But you'll need to, again, ask for it and receive it. But I do think that there will be a lot of people coming to you. So just be very discerning in sort of discriminating where you extend your resources, right? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, etc. If your cup's not full, stop trying to fill somebody else's. Work on getting your cup full, then fill somebody else's. And Jupiter will help you to do that. It will help you to fill your own cup, and then you'll have the ability to help others. But again, just be careful about the people who you just don't have the energy, or if they're trying to take advantage of you. Nobody can take advantage of us if we don't give them permission to. That no can be powerful in a lot of ways. You might find that you have a lot more responsibilities at this time. And so again, be discerning about how you invest your energy, and then you'll get the most out of this cycle. It is interesting because I do think that Jupiter's going to assist you in the power of no, like being able to, again, sort of discern, where your energy is best used, where best to invest your energy, and where to say no. And that's something that 9s often struggle with, is knowing when to say no, and also knowing when to say yes. So this can be kind of an accelerated lesson in that over the course of the next year, which doesn't sound like very rewarding or exciting, but it can really help you on your journey, especially as you continue to step into this your life path 9 vibration. So beautiful energy here, really, overall. Hope it's a great one. Take care. Bye for now. Life Path 11 too, you are going to be working with the powerful vibration of the 35/8. So I like this energy for you all. This is a period when pretty much anything can happen. So you should be prepared for whatever comes. And Don't be too quick to dismiss the opportunities that present to you. Kind of take your time in deciding what to say yes to, what to say no to, and try to be as adaptable as possible over the next year. You might be faced with some things that push you outside of your comfort zone, that really kind of push you to say yes to what your soul is pushing you to say yes to, but it can feel like a lot. It can feel like a little overwhelming. So take your time in that process, but don't be too quick to say no out of fear or, again, like lack of confidence or self-worth or whatever. This is such a beautiful cycle to be really curious and explore and see what sticks and what doesn't. You could find that there's a greater demand now for you to show up in a certain way when it comes to responsibility and discipline. So in other words, to use sort of a simple example, you might be promoted and therefore from that promotion, you now have more pressure and more work, right? And so you have to find ways to kind of balance that and manage that in some way. Or if you're like opening your own business, right? There's a lot of additional responsibilities that you'll have to kind of manage and find your flow. And in the interim of that, of figuring that out, of what is your center point, how can you balance that energy, while also taking on the added responsibility, that will promote the growth and the success and whatever success means to you, etc. But there's likely going to be some kind of opportunity that will bring additional responsibility. And you'll have to figure out, again, how to kind of manage that in a way that works for you, that's healthy, and that can also help you to achieve your goals. This is definitely a money vibration. So you could see, again, that job advancement or opening a business or something like that then increases your salary in some way. Or some of you may experience like an inheritance, something like that is also very possible. That's another source of money. Because remember, again, Jupiter expands everything it touches, and you all are working literally with an 8 vibration. So, this is a money vibration. So you will likely see some kind of emphasis put on finances, resources, again, power, money, status, influence. So you could definitely see an uptick in those areas as Jupiter moves through Cancer. The other thing I would say is you might feel the additional pressure of this period, but it's temporary, right? Like that additional pressure is because it's new and like you have a lot of more responsibility and you're trying to figure it out. So you will find your way and it will balance out, and you'll reap the rewards of, again, this new opportunity. So it will pay off. You'll just have to kind of put in the effort to find your balance with these new added responsibilities. So make sure that you're listening to your body, make sure that you're putting your health first and making sure that you're not overburdening yourself or overcommitting, and you're allowing sufficient time for rest. I think that's going to be really, really important. But there's a lot of vitality with this energy. So you might feel really alive, really excited, really raring to go. And so I would say, use that vitality to get the job done, whatever that job happens to be, and you'll be really pleased, I think, with the results of this cycle. Hope it's a great one. Take care, Levins. Bye for now. Life Path 22-4. So we're going to be working with a beautiful energy of the 46-1. This is like a very soft, gentle type of energy. It's a very nostalgic type of energy. So there's the possibility during this cycle over the course of the next year to get reacquainted with someone or something positive, right? So just feeling like very supported, connected, like you have your team in place that wants to see you succeed. And it's a very familiar landscape. Like it feels very homey and connected. It's just a really beautiful energy. It brings in the vibration of good karma, new opportunities, success. So you might find that you are now the center of attention in some way. You might receive gifts or inheritances of some kind, or people kind of bequeath you resources in some way, or assistance if you're looking for some kind of financial assistance or some kind of partnership, business partnership to help grow something. You could see that fall in your lap during this time. This is such a beautiful supportive energy for that. Some kind of situation might present itself from the past, but it looks much different. Well, it doesn't have to necessarily look much different, but almost like in the past, all the puzzle pieces weren't present, but now they are. And so what you tried to make work in the past that didn't, now has all the pieces to where it can work really, really well. This can be with relationships. This can be with a career or a creative project, something along those lines. So you might get a call from someone who wants to work with you again, who's worked with you in the past. And what you both could, or you all could create could be just phenomenal. You could see childhood acquaintances appear sort of like with new offers or some kind of beautiful opportunity or something like that. Connections from the past that maybe went south or were difficult, again, could represent in some way or resurface in some way, but the dynamic is much different, and it's actually really conducive for creating something together that could be really, really beautiful. Joy and contentment can fill your heart at this time. This is a time where you want to also share the love. So, if the love is coming in, be open and vulnerable of sharing that love with others and sharing that joy with others and the contentment that you feel. And that will lift the vibration of not only yourself, but others as well. So it's a beautiful energy for that. You could see that your environment changes somehow over the course of the next year. So either you find yourself in new places with new people, maybe you move in some direction or get a promotion or change jobs or something like that. But whatever changes that you find yourself in can promise good returns, or fresh opportunities and relationships could surface from whatever this is. So really beautiful energy there. Travel is also potentially in the cards here over the course of the next year. So if you have the opportunity to travel, I would say yes to it. Beautiful energy there. I would say during the course of the next year, this is a time where, you can achieve any goal you kind of set out for yourself now. So be really discerning in where you invest your energy, what you say yes to, what you commit to, because it has the potential with steady application, because again, you're still a 4, to be quite successful and can bring in a lot of, again, gratification and feeling really like you've achieved something significant. So yeah. And again, just don't be afraid of accepting the support or asking for the assistance to help you to reach your goals and to achieve that success. And I think that you're going to be really pleased. I think we're going to be, I'm also a 22-4, so I think we're going to be really pleased with the outcome. Hope it's a great one. Take care. Bye for now. Life Path 33.6, you all are going to be working with the vibration of the 57.3 for this illumination. This is one of the more interesting cycles for you all out of all the numbers. This can definitely, when in the intro, when I talked about Jupiter, it expands everything it touches. So sometimes it'll expand the more difficult situations that we need to look at and kind of figure out how to maneuver through. And it's through that experience of finding the way to maneuver through those obstacles and challenges that we extract the wisdom. And then, that's sort of the gold at the other side of the rainbow type of thing. And it's interesting because with this energy of the 57.3, it can definitely bring in separation, delay, helping you to find some kind of greater outlet for your creative expression or how you express yourself. So there's a lot of growth associated with this cycle for you all. I would say throughout this year, maintain a logical approach especially to emotional situations that might arise at this time. So try not to get too emotionally caught up in situations that where you could easily create some kind of combustible fire situation from it, kind of make a mountain out of a molehill, right? So this is an opportunity, I think, over the course of the next year to really work on your emotions, your emotional maturity, working through any kind of dense emotions that are giving you, that are challenging, that kind of create greater reactivity. This is a time, this would actually be a beautiful cycle for therapy or finding a healer or working with someone who can help you to really manage or find ways to, obviously work through, feel, heal, and transmute some of that greater those greater emotions that you might need to work through. So that if situations arise during this cycle, you're able to manage your reactivity. And that's going to really dictate your experience. You could experience through this cycle a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of like opportunities here for peaks and valleys under this vibration. And so I would say through that process, if you are someone who if you find that you have a lot of ups and downs, a lot of peaks and valleys, use this as an opportunity to find some kind of creative outlet to express those emotions that you feel through those ups and downs. There's a reason why some of the best artists, some of their greatest work comes from after a breakup or, when they're moving through something really difficult. They're able to transmute that energy, that charged emotion or the charged electrical, output of the emotion into something creative. And so I think you all, even though this can sound like a little bit heavier of an energy, I think you all have a beautiful opportunity over the next year to find those creative outlets that really let you authentically and truly express yourself, where you feel, really empowered by that creative outlet and that creative expression. So there's like a method to the madness here with this energy. Find the creative outlet that will help you to transmute that charged energy and that will allow you to creatively express yourself in a way that feels good for you. So, acting, music, poetry, photography, painting, all great outlets. Writing, did I say that already? Writing, having a podcast, whatever, you name it, whatever outlet works for you. And it might look very different than what works for other people. There can definitely be separations and disappointments in love relationships with this energy. And you might find that there's some relationships that fall away at this time. And I would say expect delays when it comes to certain areas of your life, but there's a reason for that, and it's having you focus on something significant so that you can overcome that challenge, whatever that challenge may be. Use the experiences of this cycle for growth. The wisdom that you gain here should be made available to those around you. So in other words, in some way, this is a beautiful opportunity to gain greater wisdom through your experiences and then find an outlet for sharing that wisdom that's again achieved through those experiences with others. So very powerful cycle for you all 33s. It's going to depend on how you decide to use it. That'll make the difference, but you're given a really, really powerful opportunity over the course of the next year that can really define sort of your creative output and what that looks like. Now it'll continue to evolve, but I do suspect you'll see a lot of wisdom come through over the course of the next year. All right, I hope it's a great one. Take care. Bye for now. Life Path 44-8. You all are working with some really powerful, beautiful energy for this cycle with Jupiter going through Cancer for the next year. You're going to be working with the vibration of the 68-5. So this kind of brings into the forefront education, planning, the need for like moving past like procrastination, getting organized, getting focused, having a plan, having a strategy. Travel is highlighted for this cycle, and like new paths, new opportunities coming your way can certainly come in at this time. One thing I do want you to be careful about though is sort of like impulsive spending or sort of reacting too quickly or having like a reactive nature. So be as diplomatic and as adaptable as possible during this cycle, and it will serve you well. I would say this is a time when sort of planning and attention to detail will really help you to achieve what it is that you're looking to achieve, reach your goals, that sort of thing. But it's going to require some kind of greater plan, greater strategy, and paying attention to the details. There's no sort of rushing through it with this energy. It's taking your time, making sure that your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted. Your organizational ability and receptivity to new ideas can absolutely be turned into some kind of profit at this time. But again, it's going to require that organization, that commitment, and that dedication to see it through to completion to make it happen. This is not a time for procrastination. This is not a time for, again, skipping steps or doing things too haphazardly. This is a time for getting serious, getting focused, and being organized in your approach, and you'll likely see some significant profit or success or some level of achievement through your efforts. Someone that you meet at this time could be a catalyst in your decisions to follow a particular path. So I would say be flexible, accept invitations to socialize, to travel, because those opportunities could, or those invitations that you say yes to could bring new opportunities that can help you in building, reaching your goal, building your future, whatever it may be. So pay attention to the people that you meet. And if you receive that invite or that, they extend their hand, don't be too afraid to accept. Educational opportunities could come up now. This is a great time to go back to school, to take a course, to take a workshop, to hone in your skills in some way. I would say, again, say yes to the opportunity, because those opportunities could open new doors, especially whoever it is that you meet during this time. Communication during this cycle serves to establish what your priorities are and can help to really strengthen your financial or your business dealings at this time. So again, communication is going to be key. This is such a beautiful collaborative type of energy. So don't be afraid to collaborate. Don't be afraid to share ideas, to connect with others, to see, to accept different viewpoints and perspectives can really help you in whatever it is that you're trying to build at this time, or whatever it is that your goals are. There can definitely be some ups and downs with this cycle. That can bring in like waste or loss, in some degree. Because remember, sometimes Jupiter expands everything. So it can you have to kind of go through the difficult to get to the better type of thing. And, those phases of that waste or that loss that might come in, those delays, these are phases that are intended to sort of get rid of or eliminate the unnecessary. Like if it's not serving you, it'll probably fall away at this time. So, use discrimination, plan carefully, and you will achieve whatever you set your mind to during this cycle. So beautiful energy, 44/8. I hope it's a great one. Take care. Bye for now.